For thousands of people who live in Montgomery County, the need or choice to rent their homes is an important part of their quality of life. In light of this, Montgomery County's Tenant Work Group was formed to look out for the best interests of renters throughout our region. Members of the Council's Planning, Housing, and Economic Development Committee met recently to discuss some of those recommendations the group is proposing.
Well, why don't we, I'm glad to hear that.
You know, the information that we've received is that there are improvements that need to be made. Those conversations are continuing now between the Department of Health and Housing and Community Affairs and the Tenants Work Group and the business owners who operate these buildings. So, you know, I'm not sure everybody's happy at this stage of the game, but the information that we have to date reflects that rents are indeed increasing, but pretty much within the guidelines. There are situations that are not appropriate, and those are things that are being looked into.
I do think there's merit in doing something rather than waiting for a crisis to occur. And then I think there's an understanding that some of what's happening to the tenant community is like not either not fair or not good. I think there's an increasing realization that tenants are like 1/3 of the people who live in the county. And I have to say, I mean, I own a home, but they're like really two different worlds. There are people who know where they're sleeping every night because you got a mortgage and this is your house and you're permanent, and there are people who have no security about where they're going to be. And, you know, we're dealing with issues where people are afraid to raise concerns about the quality of their housing because they're afraid if they raise a concern, they're going to lose their housing. And nobody should have to live like that.
The Tenants Work Group is proposing a wide array of policy as it relates to renters. One includes publicizing landlords who raise rents above the county's voluntary rent increase guideline. Councilmember Marc Elrich says he wants to take that proposal one step further by placing a cap on how much landlords can raise their rents above that number without justification.
You know, it's one thing if it means that you can't buy the best stereo system because you're priced out of the market of buying, you know, the stereo I want. But it's different when you're priced out of having decent housing. Housing is, you know, you don't live without it. It's not an option in somebody's budget. You don't say, well, I'll skip housing this month. This is something you've got to do. And so I think occasionally there's a role for the government.
Still to come on County Report this week, more good news of success in Montgomery County Public Schools